Hello and welcome to AKA's webinar. Today we're going to be talking about how one of the world's largest asset managers uses technology to expand into new markets. One of the world's largest firms figured out how to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. But before we begin, a little bit of background about AKA. We're a financial services focused consultancy with over $40 million in annual revenue, having been in the business for over 25 years. Headquartered in New York City with over 250 clients, we're Microsoft Gold certified in Dynamics 365 for sales, service, and operations. And we're a 100% Dynamics-based consultancy with practices in Azure and Power BI as well. Presenting today will be me, Tom Berger. I'm your Vice President of Financial Services here at AKA. I've been leading the financial services practice, and I have over 20 years of industry experience, as you can tell from my distinguished hairline. I originally started off my career as an anthropologist, earning my PhD in prehistoric archaeology, but now I work with you guys in asset management. And today we're going to be talking about one of the world's largest, a $1.5 trillion firm with over 1,500 clients, servicing team, and they service institutional as well as intermediary clients. So what was happening with this organization? They were stuck and mired in an unexpandable solution that was basically not very useful for them. They had over-engineered the previous solution, and what they needed to do was really improve collaboration across the enterprise to allow their sales teams to chase more relevant opportunities. Because basically on the intermediary side, the biggest challenges for them was if they were talking to a broker or an RIA representative, they didn't have the roll-up data to be able to enable them to make decisions about whether that investment was worthwhile. They wanted to capture more consistent metrics on the effectiveness of campaign activities as measured against in and outflows of client sentiment for existing and new products and strategies. And they really wanted to improve their user experience. Why? Because as millennials enter the workforce in investment management, in the buy side, they're looking for new and more intuitive applications to attract them. So not only was this a client-facing solution to enable better reporting for their clients, some of their customers were in fact the internal advisors and intermediaries and institutional sellers to be able to attract them. And lastly, they wanted to get new features from Microsoft in particular without long and expensive upgrade projects. Traditional on-premises model means that you customize a solution very heavily and then you're stuck with it. And then you can't expand and you can't grow. Let me just show you briefly what the old solution looked like. The old solution was this. The issue with it was data was siloed and it was inconsistent in multiple screens with lots of clicking, and data was duplicated. So the integration of third-party data, including settlement and transfer agency data, lack of traceability on positioning and sales activities return, especially on the intermediary side, was resulting in poor decision making. And because it was on premises and this was a global organization with Asia Pac and EU and EMEA representation, Citrix was presenting with a slow opportunity to move across the enterprise. They had different and difficult to use custom mobile apps. And as a result, with all these issues, users simply weren't using this platform. So they were stuck with this old solution and they couldn't upgrade. They had to they were advised, if you want to move up, you've got to re-implement to move to the cloud. So this organization decided to create a transformational solution. And what did they get? They got higher visibility and better quality of information. The user interface was much cleaner with one screen, much less clicking, that displays all relevant client information while allowing the client-facing employees to default only see the accounts, contacts, and opportunities they work with daily. It improved the client information with third-party data. It minimized the duplication included better tracking of sales activities and actual money inflows and outflows. Roll-up information was much, much better. The improved tracking of sales activities therefore allowed for better metric reporting and better actionability. We were able to, with this UI and this new data, enable this battleship of a company to turn like a speedboat and make faster decisions and more effective decisions and have teams across the globe collaborate with one another to make decisions more effectively to allow them to grow. One other thing is the accessibility. This new system leverages Dynamics natively 365 apps on the desktop and on all different mobile platforms for consistent and much improved user experience on all devices instead of the existing slow Citrix connection and or custom mobile apps. And then lastly, as Microsoft releases new performance and new features and functions, this client is able to implement those solutions by moving non-core components out of Dynamics and minimizing customizations for only critical high usage features, and then they're able to adopt the new tools. So overall, we've seen a dramatic change in both their adoption, usability, decision-making capabilities, and growth in international markets as a result of this rollout. Thank you for joining us today on this webinar. I'm Tom Berger, Vice President of Financial Services here at AK. I'm happy to address any questions you may have about this or any of our other asset management clients. I can be reached at this contact information on the screen in front of you. Thanks and have a great day.